Hi guys, and welcome to another video. So today's topic is um, what is it that the nature spirits or trees or uh, the energies in nature are trying to tell you or connect with you when you are out in nature, right? So let's see what you guys need to know when it comes to that type of energy. Um, Being in nature is actually one of the best things you can do for you. Going for a walk around trees, around rivers. There's a very beautiful energy in nature. I do believe, it's very magical, nature and the whole process of nature. If you kind of pay attention, how, we have, where I live, we have all seasons, and in the spring, we see all this magic happening with, the leaves and the flowers and the bees. And then in the fall, all of those, kind of fall away, right? All the leaves, the trees losing its leaves, changing colors. It's beautiful. It's very magical. So there's definitely a very big spiritual energy in nature. And I'm able to connect with nature spirits actually. I have a tree right in front of my house, and it's part of my property. And it's just so beautiful. I can connect with that tree. Since I've actually had my awakening, I could do that. I would connect with the trees. so um, so if you're called to go to nature or walk in nature or go, to a park, to the forest, hiking, whatever that would be, or if you're just natural nature person, there's something that you do have in connection to nature. And I feel like for some of you, that's where you might get the answers you're looking for. Not only that, but it's very healing. There was a time that I stepped right in front of a tree and I could feel the tree healing me. I could feel the tree energy absorbing my negativity into them. They're very compassionate, energy. So it's very beautiful, very magical. So if you found this video, it's for a reason. So let's see. Okay. So what is the messages natures and particularly trees have for you when you are out and about? And on this reading, I will be using my tarot and also my Celtic Spirit deck. So it's very, very nature-like. So let's see, what message does nature have for you? Okay. What message does nature, in particular spirits, there's definitely messages that they want to deliver to you. So if you have been getting this call to be in nature, to, go walk maybe towards a place in particular, like, even like a certain area. There's one card that fell. All right, let's see which way. Pick it up. Ooh, okay. All right, so let's see. So the first message that I got very clearly here with the High Priestess upright is I want you to acknowledge, and I feel like you do know this, that you are very magical, very spiritual as well, but definitely there's a light and the dark inside of you, and that's definitely an energy that I do describe nature to be. There's definitely a very different energy when you walk in the forest in the day and go walk in the forest at night. And I feel like you are being, shown that you are both as well. There's light and dark in all of us. And they want you to express that. They want you to own that. They want you to know and kind of accept that you are a very creative, magical, powerful person, very spiritual person, and definitely you have a connection to the spirit realm and whatever that may be, and if you are being called, like I said, to go out in nature, is because they definitely have messages for you. Look, the 8 of Wands showed up here, and there's like downloads happening for you, ideas of being creative as well. A lot of things that this nature spirits want to connect with you and tell you about. They definitely love it when humans acknowledge them, and they know, wanna actually connect with you. So let's say sometimes when you are out in nature, maybe there's something like very significant that catches your attention, or something that happens, and that's nature talking to you. They're obviously they're not humans, I guess, so they're not going to speak, but they will deliver some sort of message to you. And I feel like they do want to make that connection with you in some sort of way. I find it very interesting, to I was talking to a friend who is very far away, in the world, in Asia, and I felt like, I could talk to this person through the trees, and I kind of did my little experiment, and I was talking to my tree, kind of like a phone. I don't know, I play this stuff, and within, I would say, 24 hours, this person was just texting me and calling me back, asking me how was it going and things like that. So there's definitely a very big telepathic connection that we can actually learn with the trees. So for some of you, we have the 5 of Cups in the reverse. There's something that I feel like you need help with and support with, kind of removing yourself or moving away from some sort of situation when it comes to the past. Because the 5 of Cups in the reverse could be maybe some of you walking away or having to deal with something from the past that definitely you need some sort of support or healing from, regretting the past or some sort of issue that may have happened with you. And it could have been recently, but I feel like the nature spirits could help you get there. Definitely also with the 10 of Wands here, you needing to release all this you know emotional baggage, I feel, for some of you. So being in nature is going to help you kind of get rid of that or move that away from you, or help you release that in some sort of way. So definitely grounding yourself, grounding, go in nature and ground yourself, connect with them. There's a lot of videos on how to do grounding, but I feel like you've heard this before, where you just imagine roots coming out of your feet. Best thing you can do is sit, just imagine roots coming and connecting to the nature, and it's going to be very healing. And a lot of you may not be, because once you connect with that energy, it might feel weird. It might feel like, I'm just going crazy. But it's something that, once you start doing it on a regular, it's going to start shifting something in your vibration, right? And I feel like the nature spirits definitely want you to um, connect with them so they can help you, support you, remove yourself, or move any residual energy that you're still kind of carrying in from the past. You also have the Hangman here in the reverse, so there's definitely something here where the trees or the nature spirits want you to acknowledge about them. I feel like they keep calling you to be in nature, be around it, because definitely there is a connection, maybe a past life, or I do believe some of us do resonate from other maybe worlds or dimensions as well. And I feel like some of you have definitely this very leafy green, maybe green thumb. Maybe some of you like to grow vegetables, like, if you like to be in your garden a lot, love flowers, plants. I have a lot of plants in my house, as you can see. And, I feel like some of you haven't really accepted that, and I feel like if you find this video, it's because I feel like also, with the High Priestess here, this is kind of nature also helping you awaken, you know awaken to who you truly are as a very powerful, maybe even earth witch. you know, um, yeah, a magical person, you know. I don't really like to say witch in some way because I feel like people have kind of put a very negative energy, connected to that word. So I say magic. Say it how you want it. Doesn't matter. Because we all do it in every single way, shape, or form. Every day you wake up is magic. It's magic we do, Um, so we have the tower here. Okay. So one important message that I do get, whomever finds this video, is the importance of us human beings acknowledging that nature, Mother Nature, of course, is very powerful. Look at this. We have the tower here. I mean, Mother Nature don't play around. Mother Nature, when she feels like there's something out of balance in this planet, and in this realm, let's be honest, there's other definitely energies participating within our energy that we don't know about, but it's there. We don't see it physically, but we feel it. And Mother Nature knows that there is some sort of unbalanced energy within us, and that affects the vibration of Earth, the vibration of this is our home, everybody's home. So I feel like the more of you connect with Mother Nature or the nature spirits, you are definitely helping her uh, to raise some sort of vibration needed here, right? There's definitely some disruptions that I do sense that Mother Earth or nature spirits, I wanted you to help support, with. And one of the best ways for you to do that is acknowledging that, nature does have a very powerful role in also affecting us. Just imagine how important it is by Mother Nature here, right? So we need to become aware of, acknowledging that we need to help and support. And Chiron, guess what? Chiron just, in Taurus, right? We have Taurus, it's represented by Earth. It just went there. So definitely there's going to be some sort of energy being disrupted. And so one of the best ways as healers, as magic workers, as people who work with the spiritual world, right? Like spiritual people like us, is to help and support the vibration of humanity. Sometimes, we are going to be called to do that. And I feel like if you find this video, I feel like this is a very important message for those of you who feel like there's definitely a purpose that you have. And, nature is working with us, but many of us don't really work with nature. Acknowledging nature, and you can either do that by visualizing nature, connecting with nature, talking to a tree, feeling, planting a tree, working on your garden, helping the bees, helping something, when it comes to our environment as well. So, and I feel like also knowing that we are guests here, we are guests here, definitely. Because think about it. We live, what, around 100 years? These trees have been here for maybe thousands of years or hundreds, I don't know, many years. And I have to get my cat out of my plant. So anyway, so yeah, that definitely, very important messages that the um, nature or plant world, tree world, want to connect with you. They want to deliver to you. They want to heal you. They want to acknowledge that they are also supporting, and they need your support in some sort of way, right? So whatever you've been called to do, sometimes I like to buy like a green candle and do an as an offering. You can also do offerings. For example, you can donate something maybe to a company that kind of helps, right? Plant trees, or I don't know, help the bees, or help, in some way. All of that, I feel like it's being acknowledged by the spiritual nature spirit realm in some way. So, and just, have a little bit more mindfulness that, we are we do affect, you know, the nature kind of spirit nature world in some way. So we need to be more aware, right? Awareness. See things from a different perspective, because I do sense that definitely there is a lot of, especially with all the squares happening right now. I wouldn't be surprised if you start to see earthquakes or, you know, like all this very disruptive nature things going on, like, you know, volcanoes or tornadoes, or, you know, hitting Earth, and you know, I mean, we've been seeing them year after year, but I feel like where Chiron is in right now in Taurus, also might be squaring Pluto, right? Pluto in Aquarius is about the communities and humanity in some sort of way. So yeah, so you got to be mindful of that. That we need to help and support Mother Nature elevate the vibration. And one way to do that is connect with nature and raise our own vibration and awareness, as well as also the nature spirits being a very powerful energy and force. Um, yeah, so I do sense there could be flooding as well. There could be some sort of flooding happening somewhere, especially with all the squares. Let's see. And this, I feel like throughout Chiron and Taurus, I think they talk about 3 or 4 squares happening with Pluto. So it's time to elevate our energy. All right, I have some other messages here from the Celtic Spirit Oracle. Let's see what they need you to know when it comes to maybe a particular situation, right? But right now, this is the message that I do get from them. For some of you, if you have been called to plant some flowers around your house, do so. If you have been wanting to go maybe take a trip to like a forest or somewhere where you want to hike or explore, do so. Whatever you've been called to do to get closer to nature, do so, because I feel like you are definitely going to benefit from that in some sort of way. I'm sorry, I'm just looking. My cat likes to jump in my plant. Okay, let's see. What other messages we have from the nature or spirit, tree spirits? Okay, yeah, all right. We have the gatekeeper. You know, it says gatekeeper, power, and abundance. So I feel like definitely there is a very amazing, powerful energy watching over us, right, here on Earth. And it's the gatekeeper of many things in our lives, and also as a collective as well. It's a very powerful energy, and I feel like it has a lot of authority. It does have like this tower energy type of, you know, feel to it. I feel like for some of you, if whoever finds this video in particular, maybe there's a purpose that maybe one specific person has when it comes to whoever found this reading, when it comes to nature, when it comes to the protection of nature that you know need to do. It talks about having the abundance, or maybe also nature spirits helping you, um, help bring some sort of change. And I feel like these nature spirits are willing to help you and support you in whatever way to kind of bring some sort of balance when it comes to the energies that have been kind of bringing destruction um, to nature, pretty much to our nature as well, because we're talking about pollution and a lot of very toxic energies or greediness, right? Let's see. But they're watching us, right? They're watching us as people. We also have the oak guardian, threshold answers, open mind, right? So and like you can see, he's at this little door here, right? Guarding it. The oak guardian. And as you know, oak trees are very, big and powerful, right? And so maybe for some of you, you guys could be have like oak trees, like we have this tree energy already passing through. And I feel like, these guardians are like portals to, to other places, dimensions. You guys believe in that? I do. And they want you to have an open mind about, we have the hangman here, the reverse, being open-minded. You're getting the answers that you're seeking. So meditating or, being around trees, especially old trees, because they've been here for quite a lot, and they're watching us. Nature's watching us. So be very mindful. I mean, it's a very powerful, and I feel like I said, there's like a lot of very greedy people out there, and they know. And it's kind of like also saying, nature does need our help, not letting this very greedy people or human beings, which I don't really see them as 100% human. There's like a very reptilian type of energy. And I don't know if you know about that, reptilian type of energy that some human beings have, where they're just doing they're very cold-hearted. They just don't really care about anything else but keeping their pockets full, right? So, yeah, it's a very, very powerful message that I do hear, that Mother Nature really needs us and wants our support as well. All right, one more. What do you want this people who are watching this video to know? All right, let's see. Okay, we have, I don't know how to say that. Bloodwood with wisdom, power, and transformation. So another message here is, they know that you carry all the wisdom of the world through maybe lives or past lives in some way. And they know that you have the power to bring transformation by sharing those messages like I'm doing right now, helping transform the world. Because now with the social media, people become very powerful. With what you say, you can definitely connect with people, and we are the voice of spirit, us light workers. We are the voices of those who cannot really hear, who for those who can't or don't hear yet. So there's definitely like a very big purpose or job for some of you here, right? And it has a lot of wisdom, which I feel like you can gain through them. If you ever have a question and you need some sort of answer about, just go sit under maybe an oak tree, right? Because they're, very wise, very big, very nice. And they'll help you and support you. If you need support, whatever that would be, let's say you have like a very amazing idea of starting maybe a nonprofit or some sort of business that could help and support nature or people or raise our visions, these spirits are going to support you definitely. But there is a very amazing, very ancient and old, very wise power here. We have power here twice. Wisdom is power, and I feel like we could learn a lot about nature and trees. Just imagine how power it is that most of the medicine that we take, that people sell to us, we get it for free in nature. I remember when I was young, I used to get like fevers, and the lady that used to take care of me, she would just walk outside the house and pick up herbs and boil. Made me better. how powerful nature is. And I feel like definitely there is people that don't want you to know that, right? We need to protect nature as best as we can, as much as we can, because they will protect you. They will definitely protect you, and they're watching. Nature is always watching. Don't think that, my plants don't talk to each other and the trees. There's a very amazing, smart, you know, communication that they have nature, not only between the what is like the trees, the flowers, right, the plants, but also with animals and insects, birds as well. Right? So they connect with nature, and we need to help and support, and through your collaboration, but acknowledging them, accepting them. Actually, accepting, I feel like, is a very selfish word, I would say, because for me, this is their world, and we're here actually passing by, right? We didn't even ask for permission. We just come and build whatever, right? But even then, they know that we need shelter, we need a home, and they are nice enough to share that with us, So we need to do better, a whole lot better. So, all right, guys, that's all I have for you. I hope this helped you and support you. I hope it answers some of the questions if you were like curious about what this message would be. And I hope that it touched your heart in some way. I feel like helping nature, and like I said, those who don't have a voice, because we have to acknowledge that even if they don't, they're not talking or walking, like our pets do. I consider my plants family. They acknowledge that, and it's all about vibration, and I feel like they need our support. All right, guys, take care. Bye.